Death follows everyone, even rock stars. Keep watching to learn about famous rock stars who died in weird and tragic ways. Jim Morrison. Jim is one of the most high-profile and mysterious rock star deaths ever. He was the frontman of The Doors and lived the life of excess. He was declared dead July 3, 1971, when he was found in the bathtub of his apartment in Paris. Drugs were reportedly involved, but no autopsy was performed to prove anything. He also had a closed casket funeral. Rumors and theories continue to fly in the age of social media, including that he faked his death. Keith Relf. Keith was the lead singer and harmonica player for what would eventually become Led Zeppelin. He founded the group Renaissance with his sister Jane and had a brief solo career. He died at home at age 33 on May 14, 1976. The story goes that he was playing an improperly grounded electric guitar in the recording studio in his basement when he was suddenly electrocuted. The fact that he wasn't in the best health may have contributed to it. He had emphysema and asthma his entire life, and those may have contributed to his inability to survive the shock. Les Harvey. Les was the guitarist for the band Stone the Crows. They were on the top of their game after their album Teenage Kicks in 1971 until tragedy struck. Les died May 3, 1972. It was another case of electrocution, but this time it was public for everyone to see. A poorly grounded microphone shocked him while he was tuning up for a show in Swansea, Wales. The band broke up soon after. Steve Peregrin Took. Stephen Ross Porter borrowed his stage name from a character in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. He then rose to fame in '67 after forming the rock duo Tyrannosaurus Rex with Mark Bolan. Drugs and a desire to write his own material put a wedge between the group by '69. He was pushed out. None of the other bands he joined, such as Pink Fairies or Inner City Unit, were ever as successful. Steve died at age 31 on October 27, 1980. He and his girlfriend, Valerie Billett, had both injected morphine that night. The strange part was he didn't overdose. He died of asphyxiation after choking on a cocktail cherry. Terry Kath. Terry was a founding member and leading guitarist for the band Chicago. He could also play other instruments like the banjo, accordion, bass, and drums. He lent lead vocals to hit songs like Color My World and Make Me Smile. That prosperous career was cut too short by a tragic accident. Terry died at age 31 on January 23, 1978. He was at a party at roadie Don Johnson's house. That's when he started playing around with something even more dangerous than drinks or drugs, guns. He picked up an unloaded .38 revolver and put it to his head and pulled the trigger. And while that was unloaded, he did the same thing with a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. He didn't realize there was a round left in the chamber. He was killed instantly when it went off. Mike Edwards. Mike studied cello at the Royal Academy of Music in London. He then played with the Electric Light Orchestra from 1972 to 75. He died at age 62 on September 3, 2010. A 1,300-pound bale of hay had suddenly began rolling down the hillside and collided with his van. A court case ruled it was an accident, and the two farmers on trial were not guilty of any health and safety violations. Brian Jones. Brian Jones was a founding member of the Rolling Stones. He helped them reach their early success, but was unfortunately pushed aside by the songwriting team of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. That, along with his drug problems, left him fired from the band in June of 1969. Brian was found tragically dead in his swimming pool July 3, 1969. It was ruled a death by misadventure because alcohol and drug abuse may have played a part. This is another death where theories abound, including that Brian was murdered. A further investigation in 2008 found nothing new. Randy California. Randy California was the lead guitarist of the band Spirit and one of the faces of the 60s hippie movement. His style was praised by everyone from Walter Becker to Jimi Hendrix. Rock historians also believe their song Taurus inspired Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Randy died at age 45 on January 2, 1997. He was swimming in Molokai, Hawaii when a riptide came in. He heroically swam to save his son Quinn, but couldn't save himself. Cass Elliot. Mama Cass Elliot was one of the members of the Mamas and the Papas. Her most famous song with them was Dream a Little Dream of Me. She then had a fruitful solo career when the group broke up, with hits such as Make Your Own Kind of Music and It's Getting Better. Cass died July 29, 1974. There was a long-standing but false rumor that she choked on a ham sandwich. The truth cause was fatty myocardial degeneration. This resulted from obesity and extreme dieting. Johnny Thunders. Johnny Thunders was the guitarist for the New York Dolls. He died April 23, 1991. The truth was even stranger than the rumors. His body was eventually discovered in the St. Peter House in New Orleans. The apartment was ransacked with some of his possessions missing. Rigor mortis had set in. His body was underneath a coffee table in an unnatural pretzel-like shape. An autopsy put to bed any ideas that he had taken fatal doses of drugs. It did show a surprising finding. He had advanced leukemia. Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious was the bassist for the Sex Pistols. He found fame but reached his lowest moment when he was to stand trial for murdering his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen. It turns out he never lived to see the court date. He was released on bail. His mother, Anne, allegedly delivered heroin to his apartment, even though he'd been clean the entire time. He overdosed February 2, 1979. Anne admitted in an interview before she died in 1996. That confession was later brought into question, making the death even more mysterious. Dennis Wilson. Dennis was the drummer for the Beach Boys. He lived fast and didn't always think before he acted. In the rare moments when he did slow down, he went to his yacht at Marina del Rey. He died at age 39, December 28, 1983. He got out of the hospital after a fight and then began drinking all day. He still thought he could swim well enough to gather some items he'd thrown overboard from the yacht 3 years ago, but drowned trying. Dimebag Darrell Abbott. Dimebag Darrell founded the metal band Pantera with his brother Vinnie Paul. They peaked in the 90s with their third album, Far Beyond Driven, that went to number 1 on the Billboard 200. Darrell died at age 38 on December 8, 2004. He was playing with his new act, Damage Plan, in Ohio when former Marine Nathan Gale shot him several times in the head. He also killed 4 more people and wounded 7 others before police shot and killed him. Randy Rhoades. Randy was educated in classic guitar. He then joined Quiet Riot before going to Ozzy Osbourne's solo band. That's where he played on hits like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley and the multi-platinum Blizzard of Oz album. Randy died at age 25 on March 19, 1982. Their tour bus had to stop to repair the air conditioner. The driver, Andrew Aycock, was also an ex-pilot and saw a nearby airstrip. He decided to borrow a plane and get as close as possible or to buzz the tour bus without hitting it. He, Randy, and makeup artist Rachel Youngblood were all on board. One of the plane's wings clipped the bus, and the plane plowed into the garage, killing them all instantly. Bobby Fuller. Bobby Fuller was born in Texas but moved to LA in 1964 with the Bobby Fuller 4. They were signed to Mustang Records and started hitting the charts. Their first top 40 was Let Her Dance, and I Fought the Law peaked at number 9. Bobby died only a few months later, at the age of 23, on July 18, 1966. He was found in his dead mother's car. He was surrounded by gas vapors but had no signs of bodily harm. The death was ruled an accidental suicide. Many don't believe the story. They think he was murdered and the gas served as a cover-up. His bandmate Jim Reese even thinks Charles Manson could be involved, but there's no evidence to prove it. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these stories was the most tragic? Let us know in the comments section below.